at Fox Bay. Okay, I promptly called JSSD. They came out within minutes. And the guy who lives in my community, who's the retired fire chief, he's captain with Tempe, Arizona, said that he witnessed this fire hydrant bleeding. And in his opinion, that prompted the water break. So I went and talked to the foreman for the JSSD. By that time, there were about 6 men there. We appreciate it. Please don't lay off any people from the JSSD. Okay? And I explained to him what the retired fire captain witnessed. And before I could get the word out of my mouth, he said, water hammering. It turned the water off too quick. That was a high pressure line. So he was going to come up and talk to you. That was on the 13th. Okay, so there's got to be some communication between the various special service districts here. Okay, that has happened before too, Ernie. Okay, this one we did have witnesses at both ends. Okay.
Let's keep moving, please.
I'd like to see some things, business discussed here besides the, normal things that happen. I'd like some substantive things. I'd like to see your response statistics, your call-outs. You used to post that 2 years ago. You don't do that anymore. But that's pretty normal. I mean, that was in my job. Last year, I discovered, and I made us think of it, what year was the special assessment, was the property evaluation based on? It turned out to be the year before, even though the property evaluations came out from the county tax division, came out the same week that you had yours. What year, Janet, is this year's assessment based on, the property value?
Same as always, previous year.
Previous year, thank you. Okay. That, I have to ask that every year. We'd like to know on, and maybe you're going to talk about it later, and certainly you can abstain from discussing any details, but there are some issues that we'd like to hear. On July 9th, you had a ruling by the appellate court in the Mustang Highland case. Okay, I have a copy here. What is the county's intent? What is the Special Service District's intent on any further pursuance of that litigation? Or is that going to be discussed later? Yes, it's going to be discussed later.
I can answer that.
Yes.
Anything to do with pending litigation, it has not been resolved. We discuss in closed session for reasons, for just that reason.
Okay, well, there was a ruling. Former Councilman Capson ruled that it was a total victory. I'd like to know, was it a total victory? What is the liability based upon that judgment? That's something that is not secret. What is the liability to the Fire Service District and to the county from the appellate court's decision? Because Highland won on the what do you call that? Lump sum, as so did Mountain Resort. And then to be determined the amount of the penalty, not the penalty, but the interest, and also attorney's fees. That should be a number that you have, that you can tell us it's approximately
in the audit report we had last week. There was a contingency that had to be created, and it was in there in a line item. If you were here and seen that on the board.
No,
it was in class. It was presented last time with the audit.
Okay, well I missed that because all this stuff happened.
But we don't know yet either, because there's still time for them to appeal should they decide to do so. So we can't.
But at this time, you know what, based on that ruling, what's your liability?
We actually don't until we get back. I think part of it was remanded back to the lower court.
I think Judge Howard is going to determine the attorney fees, how much to allocate to that.
I mean, but is it bigger than a bread box? Is it $1 million? Is it $500,000? I mean, how much money are we talking?
Those are all things that we discuss that have to do with the case.
I don't know that it's come up in a council discussion.
Yeah. Okay. We do those for a reason with our legal counsel.
Okay, well, since I'm paying the bill, I'm amongst those paying the bill both ways, both with the county and with the special assessment area, I would sure like to know what we're going to be up against. My understanding is that was not a victory. You ducked the .44 Magnum and got hit with a .22 long rifle. if I can use an analogy that would be
Certainly,
understood
if
here.
everyone has their
It's
opinion,
up to your interpretation.
Yes, I agree.
certainly your opinion.
Absolutely.
Can we use analogies that don't?
Well, you want me to be a little gentler and kinder, so I'll give you that. Okay, so let's go to conclusions then. Is that I still advise that there be knowledgeable citizens put on the board to supplement those of you who, for either fiscal reasons or technical reasons, are capable of doing this. Look how many issues I raised here that could have been resolved had we had this kind of group before. You know, why does it take a fire and all these things that happened in the last 33 days? Okay, so I plead for that. I sure hope the next 33 days don't bring the same, but you know, fire season isn't over yet. The after action report should look at not only clearing things out underneath that power line, you should be talking to Rocky Mountain Power to ask them what can be done. There are 3 sets of wires there. There's the ones that are way up high, that are way far apart. They're at least 6 to 10 feet apart. And those are the very high tension wires. And there are 2 sets of doublets that are each 2 feet apart. And that was enough for that wind to have the 2 wires touch. There are things the power company can do there. They can put a ball on, and they can insulate. There's all sorts of things. And those kinds of things should be discussed with them before they take that line down and put back the same line, subject to the same elements. I mean, am I off base or anything? Is that a reasonable request? Okay. I apologize if I offended anybody, but look, I live there. I had to evacuate my family. I had to evacuate my community. And they're asking me, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it better not be, it's unknown. I'll walk you down there, Ernie. It's less than an acre. I know, it's a tough climb, but I've got the same climb in my backyard. So I'm willing to take you down there anytime. You've always been talking, but this has gone too far. Thank you.
All right, any other items of business before we go on to closed session? All right, entertain a motion.
I'm sorry, one other thing.
Shame on you.
I wasn't. I heard everything you said. I got some thoughts on that. But I want to just acknowledge that Gary sent an email to the district. The board here, just want to verify that everybody got that email that sent out live program.
I didn't get it. I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Oops.
Yeah, we'll discuss that in closed session due to pending litigation.
Let me just add a positive note. And Janet was there. She and I were fighting for sound bites out in the Stillwater parking lot. She had a better sound bite than mine. And I started every interview, which there were 1 newspaper and 4 TV stations filming. Every interview I started and ended thanking the fire district for their prompt response. Okay, so I did not bring up any of these things.
Thank you.
The other foot will hit the ground, though, is, Ernie, I appreciate if you tell the gentleman here why the senior management of the fire district were able to respond so quickly. Just what were you doing up at the fire station? It's a deep story.
Thanks, Mike.
The Lord works in mysterious ways, Ernie.
Okay. If we don't have anything else, we'll go into, if we have a motion, we'll go into closed session.
Motion to go into closed session.
Second.
For litigation.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?